Hi there, this is Fred Waters, author of the Fitness Equipment Source, one of the most trusted resources on the internet for elliptical trainer reviews. And today I'm going to kind of provide you with a elliptical trainer buyer guide to give you an idea of what you need to look for if you're in the market for an elliptical trainer. Elliptical trainers vary in prices from $150 to commercial grade $5,000 home models. And some are built like toys, others are industrial strength. So when you're in the market for an elliptical trainer, it's important to find a model that is just right for your body and your budget. So we're going to go through the different kinds of elliptical trainers and talk about the different components and what you should be considering. First, we're going to talk about the different kinds of elliptical trainers. You're going to see that if you're in the market for elliptical trainer, you'll find that there's front drive elliptical trainers and there's rear drive elliptical trainers, where the mechanisms are in the rear. The initial and first elliptical trainers that were made by Precor were rear drive, and they had very strong patents on their models. Consequently, other companies trying to get into the cross-training industry came up with the front drive models. Initially, these front drive models were inferior in many ways, but over the years now they're very comparable, and I would say there's very little difference between the two. Some would suggest that a rear drive elliptical has some slightly better ergonomics. That may or may not be true depending on the front drive model you're buying. One of the advantages of a front drive elliptical trainer, as you can see, is it's much easier to get on and off. You don't have to step over the mechanisms. Number two, an important consideration when buying an elliptical trainer is the stride length. You'll find that on cheap machines they have very short stride lengths, and it kind of restrains the elliptical motion, making it almost oval, and you tend to bounce. When you get into more expensive machines, the stride length stretches out and you have a more elliptical stride. This particular model has a 20-inch stride length, which is ideal for me with being 5'8", very nice, comfortable. If you're very short, you might want to consider a shorter stride length, more like an 18-inch, because this may be too long for you. If you're very tall, you may want to look for something like a 22+ inch stride length. The important thing is that you're just very comfortable, your legs aren't straining, and it feels like you're running in air. Number three, a very important element to consider when buying an elliptical trainer is the weight of the flywheel. The flywheel is what gives the elliptical trainer a very comfortable and natural motion. And depending on the weight, it can be the difference of being a very jerky or very smooth. Now, this particular elliptical trainer has a 24-pound flywheel, which is about at the mid-range. As you can see, I have to put some effort to get the motion going, and then once I stop, it gradually slows down. Once again, this also gives me the feel of running on air because I have the smooth resistance on it. You'll find, like on this, like I said, with the sole, it's a 24-pound flywheel. Their top of the line model, which is the Sole E95, has a 35-pound flywheel, one of the heavier flywheels you'll find on the market. With cheap elliptical trainers, you might have something that's 10 pounds or less, and it's very jerky and just not as comfortable and does not provide as a rewarding of a workout as something that has a decent weight flywheel. Number three, you want an elliptical trainer that is stable and sturdy. Getting back to cheap elliptical trainers, they're quite often under 100 pounds, And when you think of somebody who's maybe 200 pounds plus, aggressively working out, that you're going to have that machine bouncing back and forth. It can almost be dangerous. This particular elliptical is 185 pounds, which is a decent weight for a machine that costs $9.99. You can see I'm putting a lot of pressure, and yet it's virtually not moving at all. You'll find that even some of the more expensive elliptical trainers in the $1,500, $2,000 range might have a weight of 230, 240 pounds. So that's very important to consider. Number 4, I would suggest if you're in the market for an elliptical trainer, you want to get one that has either the ability to incline the elliptical stride or has a variable elliptical motion. Now, this one has an incline feature, and it works very similar to that of inclining a treadmill. As you can see, the railings are starting to angle up. What does that do? Well, it has two benefits. One is, as you increase the angle of the incline, it gives you a more intense cardio workout. It's sort of like walking or running up a hill or a mountain. So it helps you to burn calories much more efficiently. The other benefit is it works out different parts of your lower body. And in fact, it's important when you're working out on any kind of machinery that you don't get in a rut and have the same routine or motion, because then your body adjusts to it and it decreases the efficiency of your exercise. There are also some ellipticals that have a variable stride length. So it might go from 18-inch stride length to a 22-inch stride length. And once again, this helps you to work out various parts of your lower body. Number 5, in purchasing an elliptical trainer, you want to consider the programming options and what you need as an individual to motivate yourself to exercise. Now, all elliptical trainers except the very cheap ones have built-in programs. For example, this one has a hill program, fat burn, cardio, strength, interval. It also has 2 user programs where I can define a workout and call them back up. It also has heart rate control, where I can either hold on to the heart rate contacts on the handles here, and it'll adjust my workout based on my predetermined heart rate that I want to achieve. Or I can put a belt on that's wireless and use it and still be able to use the handlebars. Now, there are been some very significant advances in motivational programming on elliptical trainers lately, and several companies are now moving into allowing their elliptical trainer to communicate in the internet, and in the process being able to have a two-way communication between your elliptical trainer and the internet. For example, Nordic Track and Proform, which are owned by the same company, have what's called iFit Live. It's an additional cost for this, and it's a yearly cost, but it has several very unique and interesting functions. One is that as you work out, when you finish, it downloads your stats onto your personal account on ifit.com. 2, it allows you to create personalized workouts with audio coaching, and they cover a 5-week, 6-week period, could be a 4, 5, or 6-week period, and they get progressively harder, and your stats are once again downloaded daily as you work out, so you can see your progress. iFit Live also has the ability to track routes on Google Map, and it'll simulate the terrain. For example, I was able to just do a street outside of my community here that's very hilly. And as I'm progressing, it simulates going up the hills with adjusting the resistance and the incline. Now, if you, with your laptop, you can put it here and actually visualize the road as you're going forward, or some of the machines actually have Android browsers for display. So the question is, what do you need to achieve your fitness goals? For me, personally, I just like to listen to music and manually adjust the incline and the resistance. But some people need some kind of motivation, and a program like iFit Live works very well. Smooth Fitness also has the ability for their elliptical trainers to communicate with the internet, and they have interactive videos that show you running through national forests or parks or landscapes or ocean sides, and it'll control your elliptical and with the train like iFit Live, and you watch the video as you're progressing. Number 6, very important, is company reputation and whether they're going to stand behind their machines or not. The good news is, over the last several years, the cost of elliptical trainers have decreased and the quality has increased and improved significantly. Now, how do you find out which is a good company to buy from and which isn't, and what's the best elliptical trainer for you? Well, one resource, of course, is my website. And others are Amazon and their customer reviews, very good for getting a feel directly from customers who bought the machines and put them together, their response and their feedback. Of course, there's Consumer Reports, another excellent resource. Every year they rank like 20 different elliptical trainers. The only problem with Consumer Reports is that they go out and buy new machines, but they don't really give you a feel of how these machines hold up in the long term. So go online, read customer reviews, read professional reviews, and I highlight professional because there's just a gazillion review sites out there, and the vast majority of them are written by people who have no experience in the industry, and many have never even been on the equipment that they're reviewing. So to sum up, when buying an elliptical trainer, you have to determine what your budget is, and if it's realistic, of course, and the kind of individual you are, how tall you are, how much you weigh, and how aggressively you're going to use the machine. And when you factor in those elements, then you can kind of get a better feel of what do I want on an elliptical trainer. How heavy does it need? How stable does it need to be? How long should the stride length be? How many programs do I want? Or do I want advanced programming like iFit Live? How heavy do I want the flywheel to be? All these are very important, because quite often what I experience from people that I get feedback from is, they may be 250 pounds, 300 pounds, and they think they can buy a $600 elliptical trainer and it's going to be adequate for their needs. No, it doesn't work that way. They need something that's got it's a heavier machine, more stable, and can handle the abuse of excessive weight. So I hope you found all this information very helpful. If you want to get reviews on specific models, go to my website, fitness-equipment-source.com. Not only do I talk about the various components of the various models, but how they appeal to specific individuals. Thank you.